Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Gemini in May 2020. What's going on, Gemini? How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. All right, my friends, right off the bat, happy birthday, Geminis. Those who are born at the end of May, you early Gemmies. I hope you guys have an amazing birthday. Also, happy birthday to the Geminis who are watching this, who were born later on in June. You both groups. I hope you have amazing birthdays. If you are able to go out and celebrate, hopefully where you are, quarantine is over, social distancing still might be in play, but maybe you can go out, have a few drinks, have a dinner, get together with friends and family, and enjoy yourself. If you can't, if things are still restricted, please, as best as you can, I hope you're having an amazing day, celebrated with people that you know and love, and those who know and love you back, okay? Gemini, whew. It's been a rough start to the year, right? This is May, so we're 5 months in. Aside from January, I had a wonderful New Year's, but after that, it all has seemed to progressively go downhill. But hopefully we're starting to make a recovery. If you've been in a similar boat, I hope you are able to start to see the other side of the hill, so to speak, okay? Or the light at the end of the tunnel, maybe. Anyway, I have shuffled off camera, and I have to tell you, Gemini, incessantly my guides were bringing me the word lies. In your meditation, in when I was shuffling these cards, like my mouth is making the shape to make the L sound, and that L is attached to the word lies. Now, will that come up in your reading? I don't know. We will see, but it was very prominent in your energy. So you hopefully know what that means. I don't want to dive into it before we actually get into the reading, so let's just go ahead and get into it, okay? Shuffled off camera, Gemini, that's your main spread there. We'll shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is in the description box if you want to jump ahead. Also down there's the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you have any questions before you place an order, feel free to email me at the same address and I will answer you just the same. And also, guys, the link for the Instagram is down there if you want to follow me over there. I do oracle cards just about every other day. I might start doing some pick a card stuff on there. So if you want to get in on that content, the name over there is EmpathicFire Tarot. You'll see it here. Hello. So that you just have like a visual reminder in case you forget, or in case, you don't even care, but you want something to look at. There you go. Anyway, guys, let's get into it. I want to see Gemini's outcome for May 2020, the outcome for Gemini in May 2020. Please show me. Also, your shuffling took a long time. I had to do several of these speed shuffles, or side shuffles, whatever you call this. So it took so long to get your spread, so long. So things might be slowly revealed in whatever situation you're dealing with. Things might be under wraps. Might be some tight-lipped energy going on around. But also, it was just like this persistent energy of lie, or that word or the concept of lie kept coming in my head. So, okay, there you go. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. There you go. Okay, let's go ahead and flip what came face down. Oy, 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 oy. Now my stomach feels kind of queasy, and I ate hours ago. It has nothing to do with my personal digestive tract. It just feels a little uneasy in my stomach. So some of you might be a little ill. Hopefully not anything that's too serious. Hopefully just some Pepto-Bismol can straighten you out. Or you're having an uneasy time because there might be some lies around you. I don't want to force that. Please stop. Or put it to the side or something like that. I don't know. But this insistent energy on lying is here, and I don't know what that means. But anyway, let's see what's going on. Please show me where Gemini is in May 2020. Please show me Gemini in May 2020. Please show me. Come on, one more time, please. Where's Gemini? Show me clearly, please. Okay, got it. All right, Gemini, coming into May, you come in with the energy of the Judgment card. Okay. Final judgment, maybe? You know, finally putting something to rest, finally putting something to bed, getting final decisions made on something, possibly in the court system. That's not a traditional understanding of this card, but just there's like, I'm getting like decisions, like lawful decisions. It comes like heavy, like this is a heavily weighted decision. It does not come easy, and it's very impactful to some of your situations. You know, court decisions, business deals, or contracts signed or contracts voided, whatever. There's like a something heavy just falls down, and it's very quick. It's very fast. It's very sudden. And the recovery from it or the ability to prevent it is almost impossible. That's for just some of you. It's not for most of you. Because more traditionally, the tarot interpretation of judgment is making judgment calls. And, you know, it's like I said, putting something to rest and kind of letting it be, or resurrecting it, you know, which is not what I mean, you could interpret this as a resurrection, but, on the traditional tarot, we will see, I think it's Archangel Gabriel blowing his horn, and out of graves come the buried bodies, or the ghostly leftovers of passed away people, right? So that's here where you might be resurrecting something, or someone desires a resurrection. Someone desires something to go back to the way it was, or to get something back, or to get a person back, to return to a situation, to get something started which was, you know, long since forgotten, maybe. But I'm weary of this energy, and I don't know why. I really don't know why. But I'm just like, maybe it's because this figure is towering over these people, and it looks kind of ominous. It looks like this, you know, it could crush these people, or, you know, harm them in some way. And I haven't read the book on this, what this particular deck interprets this artwork to be, but I just get the sense of there's trouble in the waters around this judgment card. And I don't know if you're someone who's in a position to make a judgment. I don't know if a judgment is being made against you or in your favor or what have you, but it feels ominous. You know, because I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I was talking to my friend about this. Like, you know, and I'm going to use this as an example. I don't think that you guys are literally doing this, but, you know, when we have a loved one who passes away, you know, a lot of people will, you know, use language like, oh, if I had one more day with this person and I wish I could just talk to them, and, you know, that I could see them again just one time, and all this other kind of stuff, right? And I was talking to a friend of mine, like, about a different subject, but I used the book and the movie, the book and Stephen King book and movie, Pet Sematary, right? Where they lost a cat, right? Yeah, I think that's I watched this so long ago. I don't think I ever read the book, but I watched it so long ago. So a cat dies, and like the child is upset, and like I think the dad finds out about some Indian burial ground type thing, and he takes the cat, he buries the cat there, and like a day or two later or whatever it is, the cat reappears, right? The cat is resurrected. Lo and behold, the cat is a psychopath, or there's something wrong with that animal. And I think eventually they bury a human there, and the human comes back, and the human's all kinds of messed up. It's, you know, it's a Stephen King book, so it's going to be crazy, right? So that's what I feel here. It's like digging something up, or wishing life back into a situation, into a person, maybe not into into a person, because I don't think it means mortal death or mortal loss of a person, but you might want to reconnect with someone who, for all intents and purposes, is quote unquote dead to you, or you're dead to them, or whatever the situation is. And to seek that out it doesn't feel right. It does not feel right. I think it's more trouble than it's worth. I'm very cautious about it. That's all. That's really what I want to translate to you, is like there's caution about going back towards something or towards someone that's in the past, that has been let go of, or has been quote unquote dead for a while. Not mortally dead. If you're doing some kind of weird ceremony in the cemetery, and you know, you broke out your Ouija board and all the shit, like, I don't even know why you'd be watching this. But, okay, I hope you mean what I mean. Figurative death, okay? Not literal death, okay? But be careful with that. Yeah, it feels dangerous to do that, and for some reason it feels really, really like not a good idea. Okay, now what else happens with Gemini? Please show me. It's yeah, because I think. Oh my god. They showed me another movie that talks about resurrections, but it's like terrible movies. It's like horror movies. And I mean, there are movies where people come back to life and it's not horrible, because there's one with, I think it's from the 80s with like Robert Downey Jr. or something, and he comes back to life, or one of the, well, he's not back to life, but whatever. There's plenty of movies where someone who's gone, they come back and it's a pleasant experience, but they keep showing me bad things. So the next thing that they showed me were the Chucky movies, which I don't even like horror movies, but I know them very well. And you know, Chucky is ridiculous. Who wants that? A possessed doll, like this soul of a man lives on in this little doll. Ah, is that what you're doing? Okay. Pet Cemetery, Chucky, right? Pets, little furry animals, we know and love them, and they're cute. We invite them into our homes. We trust them, right? We love them, right? Little doll for your son to play with because he's a lonely little boy. It actually has the soul of a psychopath in it, and he walks around with this tiny little knife, and he's gonna kill. You know, it's unsuspecting that the thing that is brought back to life, or that possesses new life that didn't have it before, like, it's trusting. You trust that the cat comes back and it's like, oh, he's back, Mr. Furry, and it's no big deal. No, he was dead 2 days ago. That ain't right. This little doll that 2 seconds ago was sitting on a chair, now it's over here in the corner. No, that shit ain't right either. There's something to be suspicious about the return of a person, the return to a situation. Don't do it. Okay, so I want to clear that because there's more messages here. Let's get into it. So what else happens, please, for Gemini? Please show me. This is not good. They keep telling me this is not good. You gotta get away from that, man. Somebody's doing something here. Somebody's doing something here. Like, I feel so much manipulation at the top. This is a work of magic, they say. Possibly dark magic, or I don't know shit about it. I mean, I know about it, but I don't touch it, right? I get the sense that someone is trying to manipulate their way, finagle their way into a situation where they are not welcome, or they shouldn't be welcomed, but they're getting access anyway. See? Buying dolls for your kid and bringing it home? No! Now, let me see. This is so odd that I'm reading this energy this way, but I think it's because of the artwork. So right above that starting position, we have the Wheel of Fortune card, or in this deck just called Fortune, right? Secondary major for Sagittarius. Some of you could be dealing with a Sagittarius, or excuse me, primary, right? Yeah, primary, yes. Why am I blanking on what the other card of Sagittarius is? Oh no, this is secondary, and that's right, because the primary is Temperance, my bad. Oh right, that's why. This is also associated with the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So you could be dealing with any of those signs or none at all. You know, I hate to sort of talk shit about my own kind, but I'm reading this as a fortune teller or a tarot reader, right? She's got all these cards circling her, and, you know, the name is Fortune, but, you know, if you look at her face in a certain way, her demeanor isn't like, I'm your friend. Her demeanor is, do you trust me? Do you trust me? And it's like, maybe I do, maybe I don't. But I'm reading that basically, or reason I think I'm being cautious about this is because, you know, the business of tarot, and no shade to anybody who does this here on the internet or anywhere else, you know, a lot of tarot readers, I've noticed, they spin they don't spin. There's an overwhelmingly positive message across many channels. It's not a knock, not knocking them, but I just noticed like that's the fervor, or that's the strain of many, not all, of many. What truly is capable, or the power of a fortune teller, the power of somebody who does tarot, the power of somebody who is into holistic healing, or is a holistic artist of any type, okay, working with runes, doing Reiki, doing pendulum work, working with a Ouija board in the middle of the fucking cemetery. It doesn't matter. You can see good things and you can see bad things. And that's kind of my approach to tarot, and why I don't exclusively read, you know, love and romance and twin flame and all that stuff. Like, no, let's be real about it. So what I'm sensing here is there's a potential for someone to have seen something, been told something that was incredibly negative, and they're using it some type of way. Like, or, okay, thank you. Do you trust me? Like I said, with the look of this woman on the card, do you trust me, right? Some of you might be asking yourself, watching this reading, watching several other readings pertaining to your zodiac sign, pertaining to the zodiac of the other person involved. And you might not be sure what you trust, what information is true. Let me tell you, your intuition is the primary tool you need to be using, not what I'm providing here on this channel, not what I'm publishing here on YouTube, not what anybody else is publishing, not even any reading that you might possibly pay for. Your own intuition must be the primary tool, okay? That's number one. Number two, like, maybe some of you are dealing with like a fraudulent person, which in this line of work is very easy to do, right? It's very easy to fall prey to somebody who's fraudulent, right? And it's also very easy to be manipulated by somebody who does this work. I'm not calling myself out because I don't know that I work with any Geminis primarily, like regularly, you know? I might, but I don't recall their zodiac signs. But I get the sense of like this fortune is like, wishy-washy. It could go in your favor, could not go in your favor. Somebody could be on your side or they could not be. It's like duplicitous. Thank you. Finally. Someone around you that you trust possibly who might be spiritually inclined, or they come to you and they talk in that way. Oh my, you know, I was meditating today about our connection and I felt so good about it and it's really good. Or the opposite, I was meditating on your energy and I just got the sense that, you know, another reading will do, another Reiki session will do, another session will do. And they don't even have to be even in the esoteric space. They don't have to be in this world. This could be your fucking primary care doctor. Well, according to your test, you're going to need another prescription, or you're going to need a surgery. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. I feel as though there's a potential where someone who's trusted to take care of you, or someone who's trusted to make you better, or you're looking for someone's insight into a situation because that's why you go to a tarot reader, or you go to a healer, you go to a priestess, you go to a monk, you go to whatever, you go to a doctor. You go because you trust their expertise. There's a chance that you're defaulting to somebody else's expertise and you shouldn't, or you are, and now you're suspicious of their motivations. And I'm not going to say all of them are shysty, because it's impossible that every one of these people that you're dealing with, Gemini, is shysty. But I'm telling you, some of them might be a little shysty. Might be a little bit out to make a buck off of your naivete, okay? If you don't trust them based on your intuition, that's probably a good meter to go by. However, okay, caution. This is like... this is like a double cross or something, because they quickly came in and told me flip, 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 flip. So what does that mean when they do that to me? And they do that rarely. Flip, 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 flip. Some of you are in need of outside guidance. So this is going to go the other way too. Some of you are trusting your own instincts and your own intuition too much. It's misleading you. Yes, isn't that the way? Going back to those movie analogies, and I swear to God, I haven't seen them in so long, but I'm pretty sure in both of those movies, somebody was like, don't buy that doll, it's possessed, or that doll looks a little crazy, maybe you should throw it out. And the mom is just like, oh, it's just a doll, it's no big deal. The doll's trying to kill your son and take over his body, okay? You know, I'm pretty sure in Pet Sematary, the guy who learned about the cemetery, or whoever learned about it, was like, hey, this is a good idea. If I bury this cat here, my son will be happy, or my child will be happy because their pet will come back. And I'm sure there was like a local librarian or some local wise person who was just like, if you bury the cat there, it will come back and kill all of it. It's like you are not heeding the warning of somebody with insight. Some of you are not listening to your doctor, and you should. You should take a break. You should take this medication. It is going to go either way. And I mean, okay. Symbolically, that makes sense. Gemini, you're a sign of duality. You often are of two minds about things, or you can see both sides, or you oscillate between one decision or one option, and you go back to the other option, and you're kind of stuck between two things. That's you, that's Libra, that's Pisces. Signs of duality, okay? So it's going to go either way. I don't know if you're going to be able in this moment to discern if you're trusting outside perspectives too much or you're trusting yourself too much, because we all can do that. It's not just Geminis or Libras or Pisces, right? Everybody can do that. But that's what I'm sensing here. Trusting too much in something, putting too much emphasis on someone who tells your fortune, who tells you what to do prescriptively, writes you a script, tells you, you know, do your mantras 15 times a day for 5 minutes each time. Say what? Who has that time? But if you're trusting someone and they're, you know, some type of yogi or some type of instructor, some type of healer, you're going to follow that protocol. You're going to follow that advice. If you're doing your own advice, you know, it's like too much of anything is a bad thing, right? Too much of anything is a bad thing, right? That's what this feels like. And the element of the interpretation that we normally have of the Wheel of Fortune is that there is something here that's going to serve as a lesson in time. And lessons aren't necessarily 100% aligned with the Fortune card or the Wheel of Fortune card, but it's through time, because, you know, Wheel of Fortune is more about the passage of time and growing and expanding and possibly dealing with elements of fortune or loss. So in time, it's going to prove a fortunate investment that you've made with this other person's advice or your own intuitive device, or it's going to prove to be a not so beneficial investment. In time, you will know. For now, I don't even know what I'm supposed to advise you of, because I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that, because I really can't tell you. Yeah, I can't tell you much more than that. So let's go ahead and move on, okay? What else happens for Gemini? Show me. Okay. So you might be surrounded by people. Well, maybe not surrounded, but you might be, I'm not sure what that is. What's that? Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, so there's two pathways I think you can take, and both have pros and cons, is what this feels like. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what it feels like. We're going to see how it is when I actually pick up the cards, right? Pardon me. First option, or the first person or energy that's around you. What is that? I guess they're making music out there. Anyway, the Empress card. Secondary major for Taurus and Libra, okay? This is a creative energy. Creative, not artistic, but creative as into make, as into from nothing came this. On a blank page, I wrote this. I drafted this. In a bare kitchen, I made this with my hands. I made the dough and I made the sauces and all that kind of, you know, it's like creating in that way, right? To put in work to make something happen with the Empress card. It's a feminine energy, not necessarily female, okay? And it's powerful. It's alluring. It draws you in to create or to work with someone or be in the presence of someone who is a creator like this. In this moment, I may have said this about this card before, I don't know, but in this moment, she's kind of giving me like an old West or just an old time madam. And, you know, I don't know. Wow. Yeah, she just looks like a woman. And that's, you know, I'm not slagging off or talking shit on the Empress, but that's what it looks like. It looks like somebody who is very accomplished, but might be very accomplished in shady, seedy type of ways. Like most of the time in our culture, we don't look to people that are madams or pimps in modern culture. We don't look at those people and think, oh yeah, that's something to aspire to. Oh man, they're really good at managing people. They've got great people skills. We don't look at them that way. We look at them as predatory, right? So that is possibly going on. I did say that, duplicitous. This person or this energy is duplicitous. It does not look like a threat, but it's a threat. And that's so weird to say. See, I had to put it down because it's so unlike what the traditional understanding is. But as an empathic person, an intuitive reader, I'm telling you, this person doesn't look like a threat, but they're a threat. Okay? Or you're perceiving them this way. Oh my God. Someone here is paranoid. Someone here is paranoid. You or somebody else is paranoid because I can see it both ways. I can feel it both ways. It's like someone is possibly predatory upon you or in the situation, period. They look like they're not threatening. They look very humble and, you know, well-to-do or very professional or whatever it is, but they're a fucking snake or they're incredibly, watch out. Watch out. Like I said, predatory, right? With that analogy of a madam or a pimp, right? You don't well, if you see a pimp, I would assume you know what this person is all about. But whatever. This person is selling you or selling some aspect in the situation as being a-okay. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. Just calm down. This is good for you. This is good for everybody involved. This is good. Right? That's a lie. Because if you're a pimp or a madam or a drug dealer or whatever, a seedy person, we know what your business is. It's illegal. We know what your business is. It's to sell the bodies of other people for profit. That's ridiculous. It's not correct, right? But they say it's a good thing or they say it's not hurting anybody. The fuck it's not, right? So that's one aspect, or perception, I should say. One perception. The other perception is that this person is selling me something that's bad for me or giving me something that's bad for me, but it's actually good. Going back to that whole thing of some of you are not listening to your doctors. You should be on certain medications. You should be doing certain things with your diet. Maybe you should consider going into psychotherapy, right? Maybe some of you should consider holistic healing. But you're like, no, I'm a traditionalist. I believe in Western medicine above all else. And you're turning your back on meditation. You're turning your back on working with crystals. You're turning your back on working with mindfulness or whatever it is. So it's going both ways. I don't want to keep explaining that, but I'm probably going to have to. You know which side you're on, Gemini, or possibly for cross watchers, you know which side you're on or which side Gemini is on, okay? This is a tricky one because, like I said, I can see it both ways. Either way, the Empress is somebody who provides, can create, like I said. She's the archetype of, well, she's one of the archetypes of motherhood, and mothers are known to give birth, right? That's kind of what one of the things we associate with motherhood is to give birth, right? So they create, they bring into this world opportunities, abundance, support, love, affection, and that's, listen, I'm no professional, but I know that's what the pimp game is like, okay? I don't have any firsthand experience, but the little bit I do know is that's the whole game. New person in town, young person walking the streets who has no home to go to, they're a runaway. I can take care of you. I got a room over here. There's food in the fridge. I got some friends. We can buy you some clothes. We can take you out, have a good time. You want to see a movie? Let's go see a movie. That's all the lure a person does to get you into their employ. Listen, moving on. The other aspect or the other side of whatever the hell the fortune is, okay? It could just be the experience. Could just be going through this. This could be one of the experiences that you or someone else will partake in. This could be the other experience on the other side of the wheel. Got you. Possibly. Okay? So, the other aspect is the Hangman, secondary major arcana for Pisces. You could be dealing with a Pisces, but you don't have to be. Caught up. Look at this man. Caught up. Tied up. Strung up by the ankle. No chance of going anywhere. Oh my God. Now I'm like stuck on this storyline of like pimps and madams and sex workers and all that stuff. And I'm not here to judge. I'm not moralizing at all. But I'm getting the sense that, not even specifically to that story, but I am getting that sense of predatory energy. And when you're caught up in predatory energy, you're at the mercy of others, right? I mean, this guy's pretty limber, or he looks limber at least. Maybe he could reach up there and untie his ankle, but he's not. So there's this belief, perception that someone cannot or will not does not desire to set themselves free. That's just in the artwork, okay? That's just in the artwork. And so that kind of goes into the, again, the aspect of someone who becomes a sex worker or becomes, you know, a hooker to a pimp, right? The pimp runs your life. You don't run your life, the pimp does. Crazy that I'm talking about this in a tarot reading, but I find that I talk about these issues quite often. Now, not specifically pimps and prostitutes, but you know what I mean. Real shit. In that case, that predatory relationship or that predatory experience that someone has leads them to feeling as if they're tied up and they have no escape. They are living at the mercy of someone else who would come along, cut them down from that branch, free them from this state, from this position, right? However, the tarot interpretation of the Hangman is you set yourself free. You release yourself by gaining a new perspective. Okay, here we go. So, new perspective is, I don't live at the mercy of others. And oh my God, here it is again. And 2 seconds later, I'm saying don't take that on fully. This is, listen, I'm not a doctor at all. I only know a little bit about a lot of things, okay? I know a little bit about many things. This could be, if I'm honest, Gemini, bipolar or schizophrenia. Not diagnosing, because I do not have that power, and I'm saying it on camera. Said it before. Not a doctor, don't have the power to diagnose, would never even dream of doing such. But this is what this feels like. For 2 seconds, I felt like, oh, this person is a victim. Oh, this person is tied up and they're in a situation that they have no control over themselves. But then I'm also like, that's just the way they perceive themselves. They victimize themselves. And then they begin to blame others. And they become erratic or manic or something like that. This is an on and off again. Not on and off again. On and off switch. On and off switch. Okay? Because like I said, the the traditional understanding of the Hangman is you've been put in a position to reevaluate, right? To see yourself differently, to see your position or your perspective differently, to reevaluate where you are and why you're there. And then as soon as I was about to fully complete that thought, immediately before I was done, it was like, no. There's nothing to reevaluate here. I am a victim, or I am this and I am that, and they are this and they are that. And it was, I feel like this blaming energy and like a pointing of the fingers and shouting and all that kind of shit. Stop. I don't want to deal with that. Stop. That's not for everybody. Bipolar, schizophrenia, some type of mental disorder or imbalance. That plays for some of you, not everybody. But it's on the table, they're saying. It's on the table. Both literally on this table and on the table as in a possibility. And some of you are not aware of that. If you've been avoiding diagnosis or been avoiding certain appointments with doctors, you've been avoiding having certain discussions. Some of you are avoiding interventions. There's something here where somebody is... I don't want to say out of control, but possibly. My God, I don't want to stop. Okay. Thank you. Stop. Clear that. Clear it. I don't want to talk about that anymore. It's beyond my expertise. It's beyond my capability to give you a clear message, because this is a lot. It's very confusing. And notice for those who are familiar with tarot, we've only talked about major arcana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all your majors in the main, okay? That means that message came in heavily backed up by my personal guides, by your personal guides, by the powers that be, whatever you believe in or don't believe in. That message is very important for someone or for some of you, or there's aspects of it that is super important. And for my own personal feeling, I'd like to leave it and get away from it. But the impact is very large or heavy. Okay? What else happens with Gemini in May? Please show me. Single-minded. What's that mean? Oh, okay. So you're going to make up your own mind. Or whoever I'm talking about is going to make up their own. They're not going to, no, they're not taking counsel. They're not, oh, yeah, nine of coins, nine of pentacles, right beneath the Empress. This is the minor arcana version of the Empress. A lot of people will say that in tarot. A lot of people will say that. So here's the single-minded energy and nature of whoever I'm talking about. They do not take advice. They don't want to take advice. They are acting on their own accord, and they feel they're doing the right thing. In some cases, that is probably true. In other cases, it's not so true. That's just the way they perceive themselves, and they absolutely need some type of intervention or help, or to be put in check. Something, there's no checks and balances here. I'm telling you, at all stops, going back to that, going back to what I said about those stupid horror movies. I don't like horror movies, but again, I don't like them because the premises are so predictable and I find it redundant. But the premise of horror movies is that somebody warns you, don't go into the house. Somebody calls you. The call's coming from inside the house. You don't leave the house. You run upstairs to the second floor. You get killed. There's all these warning signs, these red flags everywhere in horror movies. And people don't heed the warning. You know, a bunch of kids died up at that lake 2 years ago. You know where we're going next week on vacation, guys? To the lake. No! They say that house is haunted. Let's buy it. No! That's what the Nine of Pentacles or Nine of Coins is doing. Don't do that. It's not a good idea. Does it anyway. Maybe you're relying on the advice of others too much. Does it anyway. Maybe you're relying on your own intuition, on your own instincts too much. Does it anyway. It's going to go in any and all of those ways, okay? Because again, like I told you, for some people, this is about bipolar, schizophrenia, or something to the like, okay? Not for all, not even for most, but that is how that I can explain it to you the best. I am not myself a bipolar person or schizophrenic. I do not believe I suffer from any mental illness, but I'm telling you, somebody here possibly does, okay? And because they remain undiagnosed, keeping track of what is real or what is true, what is feasible and what is not feasible, it all blurs together. And that's why I'm picking up on all these different storylines or seeing it from all these different perspectives. Regardless, whoever is living this experience, said that about being in the Wheel of Fortune, who's taking the trip around the world, not around the world, around the Wheel of Fortune, they feel good. Nine of Coins, related to that Empress card, feels good about what they're doing. Going back to that analogy about the Empress being a pimp or a madam, they feel good about what they're doing most of the time. When they're deceiving someone, getting somebody in their employ, you know, recruiting, they don't feel bad. They feel good. I'm about to victimize you. I don't feel bad about that. You see what I mean? So this person is content to act on their own accord or act in their own behest. They're in the driver's seat. They make their own decisions, and they're not going to be conveyed or swayed to believe differently or do anything differently. Ridiculous. Okay, and then oh, you got a stacker. I didn't even know that was 2 cards there. And it's a whammy too. 2 and 3 of Wands. My deck is all mixed together. I don't keep things in sequence. I don't resequence my cards before I do a reading. So back to back, you got the 2 and the 3 of Wands. This person makes progress, whether it's towards a good path or a bad path. To get this person, whether it's you or someone else, Gemini, off of this path is probably unlikely. 2 of Wands. What do I need to do? What are the decisions or the options I have in front of me? Do I go visit my doctor or do I not go visit my doctor? Whatever they choose, they're going to stick to it because of the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands follows through on the early stage planning of the 2 of Wands. 2 of Wands gets a game plan together. 3 of Wands says execute the plan. Okay? So this person, whoever they are, they will be executing their plans. They will not be persuaded to not do what they're doing, to not think or feel the way they're feeling. This is not forever. It's just a tarot reading. This is just a glimpse into whatever's going on, but I'm feeling that this person, as it is Wands, is very determined. Fire energy, super determined, not easily persuaded to do something contrary to what they've decided to do on their own. And it might come as a surprise, because when I went to this last card, I was like, oh, the Two of Wands. We're gonna clear this up and we're gonna end this reading. Turns out it's a double spot. It's a double. So, for good or for worse, things will progress. This person will do and behave and act and speak in the ways that they feel fit to do. They feel it's their right. They feel it's their choice. And I don't sense that you or anybody else could stop whoever this is. If it's you, Gemini, you feel unstoppable. You feel very content in your decision to do whatever you're doing. That could be good. That could be bad. I don't know. I truly do not know. I can tell you what I have felt, and I told you at the top. Your energy was leery in the shuffle, in the meditation. I felt uneasy, had this aspect of lying in my mind and in my energy, right? So it's a tough one. I'm not sure that this is a reading that's giving advice. I think that this is a reading that's giving clarity to people, okay? Outcome is the Fool, secondary major arcana for Aquarius. Some of you could be dealing with an Aquarius, but you don't have to be. So someone could be acting foolish. And I rarely say that about the Fool. There's no reason that I do or don't, but I'm just noting that normally I don't mention that the Fool by his name could be acting foolish. It's not one of the first things that I say, but I'm going to say it today. Someone could be acting foolish, okay? More to the point, more to the meat and potatoes of what the Fool is. This is someone who walks to the beat of their own drum. They answer to no one. They make their own decisions. They plot their own course, and they're confident that they're gonna succeed. They're confident that the chips are gonna fall in their favor, right? The cards are gonna show up in their favor, right? There is arrogance there. There is ego there. The other aspect that is there is because the Fool is, again, associated with the sign of Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is a radical planet. Radical energy comes from Uranus and by proxy Aquarius, okay? Meaning things are done in an off-the-cuff, non-traditional, unexpected manner. There are risks that are taken, and if it ends up in a disaster or it ends up in success, often I think Aquarius and Uranus energy says, that's okay. We got a result. You know, I find Aquarius to be sort of like a mad scientist in a lab running experiments all day, like Dr. Frankenstein, right? Go ahead, guides. You always sew it together for me. Check it out. Why am I talking and getting excited about Dr. Frankenstein, you say? Because what was the first card that we talked about today? Judgment. Look at that contraption. Look how it towers over these people. It's a monstrous energy or a monstrous figure, right? What was Frankenstein's monster? Monstrous, huge, lumbering around, you know? And again, tying in with this whole theme of horror movies coming up in your reading today, Gemini. So here you have these townspeople or people observing this monstrous creation, pointing at it, afraid of it. There's someone pointing at it, so possibly accusing or blaming the destruction or blaming this let loose contraption or monster. In Frankenstein, all the iterations of Frankenstein that you could find, modern and classic alike, shows that these townspeople don't appreciate the presence of Dr. Frankenstein's monster. They're looking at Dr. Frankenstein, or they're looking at that thing and like, what the hell is that? Why is it here? We don't like that. No. Dr. Frankenstein, in his creation of the monster, the Fool card, okay, here I go. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to run an experiment. Let's see what happens when I try to reanimate life, because it's a damn corpse, and I told you that about fucking Pet Cemetery and Chucky. Putting life back into something that is dead. It's not a good idea. Not for Chucky, not for Pet Sematary, not for Dr. Frankenstein, but here you go. Whoever the fool is, they're trying to do that shit. They're trying to do that shit. No. But the fool doesn't view it that way. Thank you. Like I said, that Aquarian energy, not an Aquarius person, Aquarian energy, Uranus energy, running experiments, trying new things, being innovative. Any person who has ever tried to bring something back to life that was literally dead thinks they're trying to be innovative. You know, people who are looking for the fountain of youth, people who are in this, in this time, in reality, people who are, and this is true, and I'm not saying it as a skeptic, and I'm not saying it as a conspiracy theorist. I just know people are developing this. People are trying to find ways to extend human consciousness past the experience of a human body, aka transference of human consciousness to AI, putting a human brain consciousness into a machine. Now, modern sci-fi and horror movies are telling us don't do that. But are people literally trying to do it in this lifetime, in this reality? Yes! We got modern Dr. Frankensteins trying to put humans into machines. They think they're doing something novel. They think they're doing something that's innovative and revolutionary. And it is. But is it a good idea? Probably not. Probably not. Right? Overall energy, Gemini. Hopefully you guys are following my analogies. I know sometimes that could turn people off or they don't follow, but I'm telling you, this is what's come through, and it makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to you. Now, Two of Cups is the overall energy. So, oh my God, the sunlight. I just now noticed the sunlight on my fingertips. I actually put the blinds up today, so that's this glare that you're seeing there. So the Two of Cups. It hasn't come up until this moment. Some of you are trying to put life back into a relationship, into a connection, and it should remain dead. It should remain where it is. Leave it alone. Don't resuscitate. Do not resuscitate. That might not be the best phrasing to use in this day and time at this current moment, but seriously, don't bring that back. Don't bring it back. Don't seek to bring it back, and don't allow yourself to be brought back. For those where you have been manipulated or you have been persuaded into a relationship that you didn't want to be in, maybe you were victimized in that relationship, maybe you were abused, maybe you were, used for your money, used for your sex, used for your time, used for your kindness, whatever, and somebody comes talking that shit. We should start over. We should try this again. Get the fuck out of here, buddy. No, we're not. Listen, I don't want to go too much into it. Because that is very specific to the Two of Cups being perceived as a romantic or significant connection between two people. And that's true. Oh, they're like, pick it back up. It also applies to those where you may have had like literally the sci-fi theme is so strong in your reading. And it's this way because this is how I have to translate the message. Sometimes in those sci-fi stories, you have partners who start off trying to work on something together, right? That's like so dead on the nose because I was watching this recently. Let's say for those, please, I hope I'm not spoiling, but here you go. A little loose plot of that HBO show Westworld, which I just binged over the past week. It's initially a partnership, but eventually it becomes one person who pursues this idea, right? For good or for bad, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but for those who know the storyline, you know what's up, okay? So what initially started as two people working towards the same goal eventually became one person. However, I get the sense that in a business setting, for some of you, you could have a partner who walked away or you walked away, and now they want back. Or now they want to complete the work that you guys started. And one of you is just like, no, that project is stupid, or it's not going to succeed, or it's actually harmful to people, or it's not going to turn a profit, or it's not whatever. And somebody's just like, but I think I can make it work. Here's how. Let's get together some cadavers and let's go to work. And you're like, we work in mechanics. We're trying to build a better car engine. What are you talking about digging up dead bodies? That's a joke, okay? I'm trying to be facetious to wrap this up because this is a whole mess. And I don't know how you or anybody else is going to handle it. You let me know, okay? Gemini, that is your reading for May. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Hit that for me. If you want to let me know how this resonated in your life, leave a comment. Feel free to leave a comment. You can share the video, let other people know you like my stuff. And if you want to subscribe, friends, and keep seeing content from me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That would be appreciate it, and it would make me feel so happy. Gemini, if you want a personal with me, that information is down in the description box. If you want to follow me on Instagram, the link is also down there. I will be back soon, guys, doing your mid-May message, and then you guys are going to get a birthday message towards the end of the month. In the middle of June, you guys will have a live session with me here on YouTube. So if you are a Gemini and you want a question, it's going to come probably on a Saturday in June. Be on the lookout in the community tab, or on my Instagram for the announcement of that. Until then, my friends, I thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.